This is a Global Original Podcast. Right, well, in these clips from the day after we escaped the evil clutches of the European Socialist superstate, we were having boatloads of fun guessing what the playlist was for the leaving festivities. A certain individual unveiled his portrait, and we were seeing the first signs of some invisible menace from China. Nothing to worry about, I'm sure. And this first call, I knew that there's something was up when I took the call, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it. But listening back to it, I suspect the influence of Chris Moyles. See what you think.
Hello, number please. Trying to connect you. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Yes, sorry to keep you waiting. Alan in Birmingham.
Hi, Nick.
Oh, my God, you're so loud, Alan.
Well, I'm on one of these tablet phones.
Okay, well, get off it.
Well, obviously I'm a new caller.
Okay, you're a new caller.
This is my first time calling, so I'm a bit nervous.
Yeah, probably the last as well.
Well, I'm trying to get a better phone for my next call.
Okay. Are we on speakerphone?
I'm calling up in Federal Europe.
Alan, Alan, are we on speakerphone?
It's one of these... let me just get an earpiece.
Yeah, okay, that'd be great. Just take all the time you need. It's a live show.
Hello.
Yeah.
I got untangled wires.
Right.
I hate it when that happens.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I can't stand it when this happens. Yeah.
Hang on. You hear me now, Nick?
Yeah, that's perfect. I can barely hear a word. Yeah. Maybe if you leave your device in one room and then walk into another, then I won't be able to hear you at all, which will be perfect.
Is that better, Nick?
Yeah, it's excellent, Alan. So can you pop it on a postcard? Jay says, I was there last night waving my brutish flag. Now, maybe that's a typo, or maybe it's indicative of how it went down. His brutish flag he was waving. He said, the crowd all sang Rule Britannia, we are the champions, and the national anthem. It was patriotic and brilliant. Stop being bitter. It sounds sad, actually. That doesn't answer my question, though. Did they actually play the Dam Busters and 633 Squadron and all that old World War II stuff? Did we wallow in a Dad's Army moment? Some people seem to live in that black and white bubble. Darren says, the question on everybody's lips at the moment isn't what will happen now that we've imposed economic sanctions on ourselves, but what have you recovered from your oyster-based dicky tummy? What have I recovered? Oh, but have you, not what have I recovered from my tummy, have I recovered from it? Yes, I have. And I've been plunged back into illness by eating something that shouldn't have been in an apple. I just took a too big a bite. And I can still taste it in my mouth now. I ate about an hour and a half ago. Ugh. Doesn't taste very nice.
Stop whining.
Fred says, what was the seaside town you recommended some months ago? I need a holiday. Yeah, well, you, me, and everybody else I know. It was probably Folkestone, but you don't want to go there now, Fred. I'd give it a couple of months. Folkestone is great. I can't wait to go again. It really is a tremendous place. Accommodates families, not at all. There's none of that kiss me quick hat stuff. Is that guy still waiting? Alan?
Yeah, I'm still here, Nick.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I grew up being in a federal unit, so what happened last night is I ventured into the unknown for me.
You should be in a federal penitentiary. What?
No, I've never known Britain to be out of Europe before.
Yeah. Well, it's.
I grew up being part of Europe.
Yeah, well, it's obviously having a negative effect on you.
Well, I blame full odds for that. Do we need to have a Eurovision Song Contest?
Well, it's something to think that we can take that as a small mercy. We'll be out of the Eurovision Song Contest. Thanks for that, Nige.
I'm a nutcase.
Appreciate it. You can go now, Alan. No need to hang around. Your work is done here. And we're all very grateful.
Thank you.
You have delighted us enough. Brian from Stoke-on-Trent says, Nigel Farage finally got the respect that he deserves last night. A fantastic speech. Best PM we never had. Oh, for crying out loud. Nigel Farage. should run this country. I assume you're joking.
Nigel Farage is not fit and proper to be in government.
Darryl in Hove says, didn't you get the memo? Bojo doesn't want anybody to use the word Brexit anymore. Now that it's done, there's no need for it. We're going to be talking about Brexit from now until the end of time, because it's going to be affecting us for that period of time. We are in for a slow decline. Well, let's hope it's not a fast decline, but the best that we can hope for is a slow decline in both wealth and influence. But, you know, the people have spoken. That's what they wanted, apparently. Chris said, unless you believed all the lies, I guess people did believe all the lies, didn't they? It was going to be glorious and onwards and upwards. And I bet the NHS is having a party right now. £350 million should be delivered to their door round about now, eh, Boris?
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Tina says, you were saying that using an emoji after a certain age was childish. You are right. I have a gripe about people over 25 using the word woke. When I've heard a few LBC hosts using it, I die a little inside. Please leave that word for the kids, says Tina. Yeah, what does woke actually mean, other than considering other people's feelings? I know that there's a sort of a mood about that nobody should be considering anybody else's feelings because that's liberal, left-wing loser talk. And if you are a liberal, then that is tantamount to being the devil himself. But it's just being considerate of other people's feelings, isn't it? Or am I missing something? I mean, it can morph into something a bit more stentorian. Is that the right word?
No.
I'll try again. It can morph into something a bit more dictatorial, that you can't think this and you certainly can't say that. But I think at its core, being woke or being a liberal or being a snowflake or all these other epithets that are chucked about by the right wing, it just means being concerned about other people's feelings, doesn't it? I mean, what's so blooming wrong about that? Oh, push them all back out to sea, let them drown. Chris said, in the 50s and 60s, children aspired to be intelligent and responsible adults. In the 21st century, adults seem to aspire to be irresponsible children. That is completely correct, in every respect. Like I said, we are regressing. The human race has peaked. I'll repeat this too. There's a film called Idiocracy, which used to be a comedy about the future, and now it's a documentary about the present, in which, spoiler alert, warning, it won't really ruin it for you, but right at the beginning, we find that somebody flashes forward in time, hundreds of years, and discovers that the human race has actually become incredibly stupid. Because the stupid people have out-reproduced the smart people. And over centuries, that has really had a negative effect on the IQ of the human race. The human race is stupid in the future. Can you believe that?
Yes.
And then hilarity ensues. You know, they elect a complete idiot as the President of the United States of America.
A president! Can you believe it?
I know. Hard to believe, isn't it? It used to be a comedy about the future. Now it's a documentary about the present. Jeremy says, can you read my text to see if I've not been blocked by LBC, as I can never get through? No, Jeremy, I can't. Andrew in Dagenham says, I've always said that if England won the World Cup a few more times, Brexit wouldn't have happened. We are insecure the nation. We are an insecure nation? Is probably maybe what you meant. Yeah, it seems a bit, it just seems a bit desperate, all that clinging to World War II stuff. The language of fighting the Second World War just keeps coming up over and over again. And if they really did play the Dam Buster theme and the 633 Squadron theme in that little gathering that they had in Parliament Square last night, then that just underlines that thought entirely. How deeply, utterly and totally pathetic that is. Still fighting World War II. A bunch of Dad's Army flag wavers. God, it's pathetic. Having said that, I'm glad they all had a nice time, and I wish them all the best. 0345 6060 97.
Hang about, Nick. Listen. Now, what I'm trying to say to you is this, Nick, right?
Susie texts, after last night, do you think that Nigel Farage will take a job offered by the Donald now? I don't know. I mean, if he fancies ending up in prison, maybe. Everybody that surrounds Donald Trump is either on trial or in jail. But give it a go, Nige. Why not? Fingers crossed. It continues. Regarding fashions in the past, can you tell us about a photo of yourself that makes you cringe now? Why would I do that? Oh, all right then. Yeah, it was the flares. It was the probably the year before I wore drain pipe jeans for the very first time, which felt like freedom. Yeah, never mind about leaving the European Union. I first tasted freedom when I stopped wearing flares. Now, kids these days will have no idea what that's like. Flares, this giant, these sails of material that flapped about your ankles. The worst bit was when they got wet. You practically couldn't walk in them. That they picked up so much wind, and it became difficult to actually motor. But then I put my first pair of actual sort of not drain pipes exactly, but straight-legged jeans. That was it was a revelation. So there was a picture taken just before that in giant glasses of the type that people used to wear in the 1970s, and that only old people wear now. You could have taken the glass out of the lenses and fashioned a car windscreen out of it. They were so big. And I believe it was a very large collared purple bum freezer jacket. I did look a picture by Picasso. Jim says, I listened to Carol and your good self discuss the old gardener in his yellow high-vis jacket. Carol is a good foil with you, and it's very good fun half hour. Yeah, me and Carol are doing a podcast.
Oh, right, yeah.
I think you'll find it amusing. Yeah, do an internet search on what's your problem with Nick and Carol, and you'll find that that's where it is. Right there. Wallington. Hello, John.
Oh, hello, Nick. Yeah, I was at Parliament Square last night.
Okay, so what was the playlist?
They did not play Thing from Dam Busters or Sing We'll Meet Again. That bloke was winding you up. But I had to leave early. I couldn't stay till 11 o'clock because of my last train.
Oh, yeah.
And as I was going down Westminster, the escalator at Westminster Station, there was a big group of young girls, about 15 of them, and they all had red baseball caps on with Make Britain Great Again.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we're living in Trumpian times, Nick.
We certainly are.
You've got to get with the programme, mate, or you're going to be left behind.
Yeah, I'm going to be left behind in he's going to build a huge wall around me.
I'm building a wall, okay? I'm building a wall. I'm building a wall, okay? I'm building a wall.
All right, thanks for the bad news, John.
Okay, mate. Bye.
0345 6060 973. The thing about a wall is it is absolutely impossible to get through.
If there's a concrete wall in front of you, go through it, go over it, go around it, but get to the other side of that wall.
Will do, Donny. Thanks for the advice. Pat tweets, I try to see the funny side of the Speak English letter, that thing that was posted up on in that tower block in Norwich by the Twit of the Year, the moron of the century. Anybody remember that show? It's sad to say this time, says Pat, I can't find any chuckles in that thing. Irony writ large, though. I'm pretty certain whoever wrote that will be obsessed with World War II while acting like those the war was fought to stop. Yes. Pause and think about it for a while. This obsession with World War II is often comes to the fore with people like those the war was fought to stop. Well spotted, Pat. And Marion tweets, you recommended Eastbourne. Thanks for cheering me up. Now I've lost my freedom of movement. Miserable emoji. Yeah, I've been to Eastbourne. I'm pretty sure. Well, I know I have, but I can't remember which one it is. All those seaside resorts sort of they coalesce into one. What's Eastbourne? Which one's that? They've got a pier. Pretty sure about that. But Folkestone is I think it's my favourite one. They got a harbour arm, they call it, and there's so many little restaurants on there. One of which was it could have been the best meal I had all last year. It was phenomenal. I went there on a Thursday when it was almost shut. I mean, they were actually open, but were a bit bemused to find somebody wanted their food because it's normally a weekend thing. And I said, I'll have this, and this off the menu because it was like small Spanish bites. Tapas. Well, they don't call it tapas. They call it pink sauce. That's probably not how you pronounce it. And the nice man behind the counter says, "Oh, we haven't got any of that. We haven't got this, or this. They only had about 10 things on their menu, of which they didn't have 7. So they had 3 things. I said, all right then, I'll have those 3 things. They were among the best 3 things I've ever put in my mouth. It was a sensation. So I'm going to go back there just to eat there again on the Harbour Arm. I think you'll be delighted. Try it, but not now. Don't go now. Wait till the summer. I think you'll find that is excellent advice. Let's have a call in Lewisham. Hello, Barry.
Hello there.
Barry, hello there.
Good evening. I want to apologise for ever suggesting that there are racist undertones to Brexit. I mean, when Nigel Farage had Jim Davidson unveil his portrait the other day, that it should tell us all.
That exactly portrait was an eye-opener, wasn't it? It could be the worst portrait of any human being I've ever seen.
You say eye-opener, I say I saw. It was disgusting, but it was... I don't mean to be rude.
I had a mouthful of coffee when you said that. I almost sprayed it all over this expensive equipment.
I do apologise. I mean, it's a horrible picture, but it's really apt for Nigel Farage. I don't mean to be horrible.
That was just shockingly bad. And of course, he unveiled it in that temple to the honest working man in the street, L'Escargot, one of the most expensive restaurants in one of the most expensive areas on earth.
Salt of the earth kind of stuff. I mean, if it was Boris, he'd probably do it in a chip shop just for the,
Well, for the photo opportunity.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
Scarpa, as soon as that picture had been taken.
He'll peel the potatoes and run, But, I mean, and that letter, I mean, that clears it all up. Clearly there's no racism involved. Obviously there's no racism involved.
Okay, if you come in late, the letter that we're referring to is something that was put up by troglodytes in Norwich in a council tower block, presumably is what it was, under the title "Happy Brexit Day," insisted that people in these flats now speak the Queen's English or go back to where you came from. In a nutshell,
there's a problem there. When he says the Queen's English, there should be an apostrophe, right? So he's been using the Queen's English, and that's the irony of these people. My friend is Dutch. And he says, the problem is that the English are quite simple. And it was nice.
Quite simple. Well, there's nothing nothing bad about things that are simple.
No, very simple. But then, if you are simple, acknowledge that you're simple and that you don't understand these big issues.
Yeah.
I heard someone the other day saying that, why are they happy that we're free? I'm so glad we're free. Why? Because we can take back our laws from the German courts. What? What are you talking about?
Sometimes, they had roving reporters from the news going through the crowd in pubs up and down the country. They sent people out to all points north, south, east, and west, and people in the Parliament Square, and they were interviewing them. And I did initially think these reporters are deliberately and with malice aforethought picking out the stupidest people that they possibly can in order to ridicule them. But there was just so many of them that I thought, well, you know what? Maybe they're having trouble getting somebody who actually makes sense. The amount of unformed thoughts that came through, like, we're getting our country back, just repeating the same old mantra that they've heard over and over again, that is utterly meaningless. We're getting our country back. Does that mean anything?
No.
Nothing at all. And the irony is, I mean, they're saying that we've been shackled to the EU.
Yeah.
This is really ironic coming from a country which made an industry out of shackling people.
Well, that is true. Yeah.
It doesn't make
If you like going around all those stately homes, as I do, then you'll find that most of them have been made with slave money or drug money.
Yeah, that's very true. Plus railway lines and most of the development from the industrial age made with slave compensation money, as shown by David Olusoga in his documentary. But nobody cares about any of that. We're going to go backwards. We're going to go backwards. And the country's lost it, and I can't be bothered to talk to people about it.
Well, I think that there is a feeling abroad, not abroad, but within the country, of the majority have just shrugged their shoulders and go, "Oh God, whatever. I can't be bothered anymore. Just get on with it." Just a resigned shrug of the shoulders. All right, thanks a lot, Barry. Cheers,
Thank
mate.
you.
Ta-da. 0345 6060 973. You can text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Nigel Farage, this is that picture thing. I don't know, maybe it was done in a hurry. That's my best reading of that. What's the medium? Is it pastels or is it oil? Or crayons, maybe. Maybe it's crayons.
I like to obey the law.
He lied. Craig says, did you hear about part of Donald Trump's new border wall being blown over by the wind? It had to be the wind, didn't it? Couldn't have been any other force of nature.
I know a lot about wind.
Well, it's worse than that. His border wall is going to have massive gates that are left open for the entire summer. Did you hear about that? Because the border wall goes alongside and is crossed by rivers and rivulets, when the storms come, as they do frequently around those parts, particularly in the summer apparently, the rivulets turn into raging torrents that carry with them rocks and trees and all manner of detritus, which would, like a sieve, start building up on the wall, because the wall is fashioned out of... It's not an actual wall, it's a fence fashioned out of vertical posts about 6 inches apart, or thereabouts. So the water will get through, but all that heavy detritus would get pushed up against the wall and it would just push it over. So during the summer, they're going to have people go out and wind up massive gates to allow the water and all the stuff that it pulls with it through. But because the areas are so remote, they won't be able to have people to go and open them and close them and stand there while the water goes through. They'll have to go by car, travel hundreds of miles, open a gate, just leave it open for the whole of the summer, which kind of ruins the whole point, doesn't it? Or would do if the point was to actually keep people out. But as any fool know, Donald Trump's wall is not about keeping people out. It's about a sop to the dingalings. It's about getting a cheer at a rally. Billions and billions of dollars just to get a cheer at a rally. The whole world's gone insane. It really has. So he's building a wall with billions of dollars that is going to be left open for vast stretches for the entire summer. What more do you need to know? Bernard texts, the Queen's English, is that some sort of oxymoron? She's German. Patrick says, I don't grasp what the fuss is all about. Freedom of movement is only an issue if someone's in the loo when you urgently need it. Listeners with material, Tony. Can you believe that? Chertsey.
Yes, I can, Nick. I can. I think we've all got material. And one question that sprang to mind recently was, when does a rivulet turn into a river?
When does a rivulet turn into a river? That is a deep philosophical question. Let me ponder that a while. It turns into a river when it's subject to the force of nature.
Well, it's grown up.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah. Do you ever wish you'd been named there?
What?
Well, people often say, hi there.
Oh.
And you say, hi there. I just wondered if you'd ever wish you'd been named
there. Well, let me ponder that for a while. No.
Okay. Nick, you mentioned places on the Kent coast.
Yes.
And, yeah, you're right. Some of them are beautiful. But I've not been to Folkestone. But have you been to Ramsgate?
No.
Well, that's got a harbour as well. And it's also got a lovely restaurant. And I was talking to the owner when I was there, a guy called Miles, and he's made it sort of into an arch with lots of fishing items inside. But it was absolutely beautiful. So I'm going back there in the summer, which is the best time to visit the Kent coast, I think.
Well, it's the best time to visit anywhere in this country, really, the summer.
Oh,
you've got a 3-month window, pretty much.
Yeah. And, if global warming is working, then they should get better.
Well, that window will extend. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Have you sorted your car problem out yet?
Oh, my God.
And why don't you do the right thing and get rid of it or them?
Well, I'm going to have to sell one of them, now, which is territory I haven't dabbled in before. I know you don't dabble in territory, but it's I haven't stepped in that area.
Selling?
Selling a car, yeah. So I'm a bit nervous about it.
Well, it's not dissimilar to selling anything. Have you ever sold anything?
Myself.
Oh, right.
I'm selling myself right now, as a matter of fact.
Disgusting. Well, I thought you were exploiting yourself.
I am. I'm exploiting myself and being exploited at the same time, and I love it.
Good, because that's what we need. Yeah. People that wish they are being that are pleasuring doing what they do.
Okay,
I think pleasure.
Yeah, I think this is another territory I haven't dabbled in yet, Tony. I'm not sure I want to step there either.
No, probably not.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Tony. Make your excuses and leave. H says, check out Twitter, Lions Led by Donkeys. They have a great projection on the White Cliffs of Dover. It's based on the colours of the EU flag, gold on blue. It reads, "This is our star. Look after it for us." Well, I retweeted one of their things today, which was something that they projected onto the Big Ben. Please don't call and say, it's not Big Ben, it's the Elizabeth Tower. I know it is, but everybody calls it Big Ben. I think they projected it onto Big Ben at 11 o'clock last night. Well, that's certainly the implication of their video. And it was rather interesting about, certain individuals had said certain things.
I'm a nutcase.
Mentioning no names. Harry says, I fear there will be a Brexit anniversary each year and people will exchange greeting cards. Well, it's, either that or they'll exchange gunfire. They'll fix bayonets, I bet you. Those Ramonas don't like it happen, you know. Here's a call in Ilford. Jeevan.
Good evening. And how are you, sir?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Good. I was going to say, as he just said those few words, it occurred to me, Guy Fawkes is back.
Guy Fawkes is back.
Brexit. People are going to, you just said, they're going to start bringing shooting each other, whatever. Last sentence I thought I heard. Anyway, I was referring to, you're talking about flares and things like that.
Yes.
Yeah. I thought around that time, people also walked on stilts. Boots with about 3-inch heels or something.
Yeah, I had those, yeah. Ian Jury called them shoes like dead pigs' noses, and that's absolutely what they look like. I had black and brown ones, two-tone.
Well, something like that. But, people, as a consequence, I don't know, you said your flares got wet.
Only when it was wet.
Only when it rained.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but after that, I thought there was hipsters that came into fashion, if I remember correctly. Or am I mistaken?
Well, not round my way, Jeevan.
Oh, Oh, maybe it was earlier. Okay.
Yeah, it's probably the hip people of Ilford that you're talking about. That fashion didn't reach Edinburgh.
Oh, is that how far it has to get?
Yeah.
I
Okay.
hadn't realised. Okay.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jeevan. This says, at our local pub, we had a World War II themed Brexit party last night. Oh, for God's sake. I bet you did. It was a great laugh for us leavers to finally get one over on the snowflakes, and quite a few Remainers came up to me to shake my hand and thank me for saving the country. They finally get it, says that text. And in ordinary circumstances, I would perceive that as being a parody. You know, somebody wrote that as a joke. But these days, you just can't make that assumption anymore. Because there are people actually like that. A World War II themed Brexit party. Ugh. Monica says, please don't fret about selling your car. If you start the bidding on eBay at 99p, you might get as much as £10 for it. Wow, then I'll be in the money. Thanks, Monica. Now I feel much better about that. Jen says, I've just looked at that portrait of Nigel Farage. His face, when it was unveiled, was hilarious. I wonder if anybody bought it after he raffled it off. Well, if that was me on that picture, I'd buy it and bury it, just so that it's never seen again. Shelley tweets, that portrait of Nigel Farage, Nick Farage, Shelley says, of Nigel Farage, looks like he's had a bit of Botox. Maybe they should print copies for Halloween. Come to think of it, I'm not sure I can sleep after seeing it. She took one look and thought... Darren says, did you see the pictures of the quarantined passengers being transferred after arriving back from China? You could see a person in full hazmat gear sat behind the driver who had no protective gear. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, that looked really bizarre. And the driver probably wasn't very happy about it. Oh, well, I certainly wouldn't have been. Got a bus full of diseased people. The authorities, thinking that it was so dangerous that somebody had to be in a full hazmat suit, you know, like the one that they arrived in when E.T. got caught. One of those, like at the movies. And the bus driver's sitting there with no protection of any kind whatsoever. And people are on TV going, oh, well, there's a couple of rows of seats between him and the nearest diseased person. Well, that's no good. You're stuck in an airless box with them. But people are freaking out about this. This isn't... it's no big deal. Look at the look on that bloke's face. There's a picture of it. He's like, get me out of here. He's got a seatbelt on, but that's not what's going to save him.
Warning, warning.
Yeah, you need to cover your eyes, your nose, and your mouth. And please wash your hands. He looks petrified, as he should do. Sit behind him is a guy who looks like White Santa. Well, he looks like a snowman. This giant suit that covers every bit of him with like a plastic visor over his face. Meanwhile, the poor driver's, every single one of his face holes is open to infection. Poor bloke. The look on his face. What does the highway code say about that, mate? And that's it. If you subscribe to this podcast, the next episode will get squirted up your life as though by magic on Mondays. And don't forget the other podcasts that I do. There's the one that I do with Carol McGiffin. What a delight that woman is. It's called What's Your Problem with Nick and Carol, in which Carol McGiffin and I try to solve people's problems while maintaining a straight face and failing on all counts. If you would like us to have a bash at your issue, send it to the following address, nickandcarol@global.com. That's nickandcarol@global.com, and prepare for total satisfaction. Ask for it by name on an internet near you. What's your problem with Nick and Carol? There's also the Whole Show podcast, which is the Friday and Saturday night shows from the radio. We take the news and the ads out, which means it takes less time to listen to. You'll use less electricity, and you won't have to start an OnlyFans site to pay your fuel bill. And I'll be back on the radio Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. And until then, I'll be seeing you.
Bye-bye.